Would say early in the fight, Canelo, and earlier in his career, Canelo, but he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years.
I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47, right?
Now
so it
he's
goes to
going
54, and now he's going to
68.
68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, I think he can win.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I think he can.
Max Kellerman has joined Joe Rogan to drop a shocking prediction for the super fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Kellerman shocked fans with a prediction that cuts against the grain of mainstream opinion, known for his sharp analysis and ability to spot patterns others miss. The veteran commentator laid out why he believes this matchup could redefine both fighters' legacies and possibly crown a new pound-for-pound king. Kellerman broke down what makes this showdown so intriguing.
A little bit of this and that between Canelo and Crawford. I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo, and earlier in his career, Canelo, but he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov. So, and Canelo, though he has not stopped anyone in a while, we've seen he's a real puncher at 68.
As far as speed, who has the better speed?
You would imagine Crawford, given the fact that he is the naturally smaller fighter, and I would assume he could maintain that advantage going into this fight.
Last attribute, ring IQ.
They both have sky-high ring IQs. If I have to, Crawford. If you ask me again, there's a reason that I think Crawford's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Pointing to Canelo's unmatched power and wealth of experience against the very best in the sport. Yet, he quickly shifted focus to an angle that stunned many listeners: Crawford's adaptability and ring IQ. According to Kellerman, while Canelo has dominated in recent years, it is Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight and systematically dismantle opponents that could give him the decisive edge. Kellerman is making a high-profile return to boxing commentary as part of Netflix's broadcast team for the Canelo versus Crawford fight on September 13th, 2025. This marks his first major on-air boxing role since being let go by ESPN in 2023. Kellerman will serve as a fight analyst alongside John and Nick and Andre Ward, bringing his signature insight and decades of experience to what promises to be one of the most watched boxing events of the year.
Of our broadcast team. He is the best boxing analyst in the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Kellerman.
All right, so I know you guys are excited about this fight, but I don't think you understand what a big deal it is. This is a perfect storm, a perfect storm. First of all, Turki Al-Sheikh, we're lucky he happens to be a boxing fan. None of this happens if he doesn't happen to be a boxing fan. It's just none of us are here. Nick Khan, the best in the business. Dana White. Dana White is the greatest combat sports promoter of my lifetime. And it's his first ever boxing promotion. So that's who's behind what you're going to see. Do you know who's the best pound for pound fighter in the world? The most recent one. Bud Crawford. Apologies to the monster and Usyk. Bud Crawford has my vote for best pound for pound. Who was the best pound for pound before Bud? Canelo Alvarez, universally recognized that way. But it's not just these two guys, the last two best pound for pound fighters in the world. There haven't been that many. Before Canelo, who do you have? Before Canelo, Floyd or Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. Before, you could take the lineage back. There have only been, I don't know, 25 or 30 fighters who ever lived who you said that's the best pound for pound fighter in the world. These are two of them, the last two. And they're going to fight in Las Vegas on September 13th. Canelo is 62-2 with 2 draws, 62-2. So was Marvin Hagler when Sugar Ray Leonard moved up to fight him, and they produced one of the biggest spectacles in the history of boxing. This fight is a perfect storm. I could not be more.
Speaking at the announcement of his return to the Netflix broadcast team for the Canelo versus Crawford fight, Kellerman described this clash as a perfect storm and explicitly stated that Crawford, more than Canelo, currently holds a pound-for-pound crown. He named Crawford the best P4P currently, while noting that Canelo Alvarez once held that honor before Bud rose to the top. Joe Rogan has also made it clear that his lean is toward Crawford. He acknowledges Crawford's elite versatility and ring intelligence as giving him the upper hand over Canelo. Rogan believes Canelo has slowed over the years and shifted from being a dynamic combination fighter to relying more on singular powerful shots.
Hey,
Crawford and Canelo.
what do you think of that?
Personally, I'm a big Crawford fan, so I'm going to lean his way. My only concern is just the size. It didn't look like Terrence's power transferred in the last fight, so
With
now it's coming
Majumov?
up some more. You know what I mean?
Part of the problem with that is Majumov is really good.
Yeah,
He's really fucking
I mean,
good.
but I just think Crawford is. It's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47, right?
Now
so it
he's
goes to
going to
54, and now he's going to
68?
68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terrence is, I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my favorite. They claim he's walking around like a $190 or something.
Yep.
And
In contrast, he views Crawford as exceptional, one of the most fluid switch hitters since Marvin Hagler, capable of shifting between orthodox and southpaw seamlessly and maintaining effectiveness in either stance. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan and Lampley debated Crawford's chances against Canelo with contrasting perspectives. Rogan leans toward Crawford, emphasizing precision ring IQ and improved physique after bulking up significantly, which he believes to give Crawford a real shot at outboxing Alvarez.
Canelo's smart. Absolutely, he's smart. He knows this business as well as anybody. So, no, it's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day, he's a counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not.
Meanwhile, Lampley offers a more nuanced take. He admires Crawford's skill and views him as a modern Sugar Ray Robinson, but ultimately expresses confidence in Canelo's power, counter-punching and famously sturdy chin, warning that Canelo's lower body strength might neutralize Crawford's offense today. However, in another interview, Lampley confidently backed Canelo to beat Crawford, saying that although Crawford is a phenomenal boxer,
overrated Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles.
It's Canelo's size, experience, and championship pedigree that give him the advantage. Lampley regards Crawford as the most complete fighter today, but believes his fight hinges on weight and experience. He argues Canelo, naturally stronger at 168 pounds and accustomed to high-stakes bouts, possesses the physical tools to neutralize Crawford's versatility and adaptability, tipping the scale in his favor. Canelo's smart. Absolutely.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jamel Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life. And he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it. And lost fight number 2, trained him for fight Rocky 3, and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to...
He's smart. He knows his business as well as anybody. You and us so know. It's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day, he's a counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance.
Some of them be hard. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You can't replace, I would say like tech sparring and like soft sparring from, a comparison to get ready for a fight. Because you fight how you spar. You spar how you fight. And if I'm in there just doing this, catch, then when the fight come and everything is full blast, full speed, I'm not gonna be able to keep up because I didn't train that way.
Right.
I can hit the bag, I can hit the mitts, all that I want, but nothing's coming back.
Right.
I'm not feeling that presence of a person pushing me, hitting me, holding me, things like that. So sparring is very important. And not saying that you have to go hard every single time you spar, but there got to be days where, that fighter is trying.
Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not going to beat Canelo.